Yeah, I wanted to talk to you about this echo chamber for the Trumpists and all these lies being disseminated by, Fox News and Facebook and so on. This is what the problem is in this country. These echo chambers that keep feeding these lies to the public. And why is it that the federal government doesn't shut them down? They are trying to overthrow a legitimate government. In my opinion, they should be shut down. It's treason. Don't you think that's what it is? And I'll take my answer.
I think it's un-American, Alfredo. I think it is an affront to just minimal standards of decency and democracy. What's going on with these guys. I'll give you that. The difficulty with shutting them down is that unless they're openly calling for sedition and armed rebellion, and I get that some have, and frankly they should be held to account, but unless they're calling for that, we have this thing called the First Amendment. It's Jefferson famously said, "I would rather live in a country with newspapers and no government than a country with a government and no newspapers." And he said that in the year after he was elected, when he had just been ripped to shreds in the newspapers for a whole bunch of things. I mean, the whole Sally Hemings thing was out and all. Yeah, which was the most salacious. But then there were an entire campaign that had been launched by John Adams, suggesting that Jefferson was in bed with the French monarchy and he really wanted, or the remnants of the French monarchy. At that point in time, the French Revolution was already over. But we have to decide, well, we already decided, that for a democracy to work, for a democracy to genuinely function, you have to have a free press. And if there are people saying things we don't like, that's okay. I'm saying things they don't like. And there are people on the right who would love to see, this program shut down or things like it. And I just think that when we start talking about the government inserting itself into news, we go down a very dangerous road. Now, the one thing that I do think the government should do immediately is require social media companies to publish their algorithms. Show us the system that you are using to drive people from a weird idea to a weirder idea to an outright BS idea to a seditious idea to showing up on January 6th. How do these algorithms that are used by these giant corporations progressively radicalize people? I think that information should basically be public knowledge. And, it's protected arguably right now by patent, copyright, and trademark laws. They're calling these things trade secrets. I don't think they should be protected, just like I think all voting machines should be open source software.